In today's news, talk show host KISHMA PENN voices concern BVI and USVI is set to reach a common ground. No more exodus of teachers. Talk show host speaks on a number of concerns. Honorable Wheatley celebrates women in leadership. BVIFA announces 2 new appointments, PÉREZ and Carter. Major regional event coming to the BVI. We have the details of this and much more when 284 News returns.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, you enjoy the rest of it. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come. Yes,
Good
Sonny.
morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. What are they? You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay. I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Monday, March 10th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Monday is wished to each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast, local activist and talk show host KISHMA PENN has spoken out about her experience at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital, citing a lack of essential medical supplies. PENN recounted her experience as an asthma patient at the hospital within the last few days. According to PENN, the hospital is lacking some essential supplies, which she experienced on a first-hand basis.
I went there on Thursday because I had the flu, which was giving me difficulties breathing. I'm asthmatic. And when I got there and I went through the protocol treatment standard, realized I wasn't getting better. You know, they had to then start things like IV line. When the doctor tried to put in the IV line, she said, "Miss, we have no HEPLOX." So I said, "Exactly how you going to stop me from bleeding out with this, IV line that you have in my hand?" So she gave me like a flimsy excuse that made no sense because, as I said, I've had asthma since I'm 3 years old. I'm 42. I have a lot of experience. I know a lot of the names of the equipment that they use because it's been used on me for many times. And what you were saying made absolutely no sense to me. How I eventually ended up getting a HEPLOC was from a nurse. Many of them, when they realized what was happening with the supplies, they would sort of keep an emergency stash of supplies for emergency cases because they know that certain people would come in and the temporary fix that the administration has them doing would not be feasible for those people. And someone in my case, so a nurse who was honored by donating during COVID the food, who I never met, who had never treated me before, volunteered her last EPLOC so that I could have one, so I could, get the treatment that I needed at the hospital, which I found was very appalling after they told me it's been 2 months since they've been out of them.
Additionally, the talk show host also stated that while at the hospital, she overheard another asthma patient who was unable to get the required medication at the time. PENN laid blame for the situation at the hospital at the feet of the Cabinet of the House of Assembly and urged them to do better.
I'm calling for the financial spending of the country to be prioritized. It is interesting to me, as I said in my live this morning, next weekend, there's a concert that's going to happen right within eyesight of the hospital, to which more than $250,000 of government funds was pledged to that concert. However, the hospital is in a space right now. The reason that they don't have supplies is money. It's a money issue where they've been cut off by their suppliers. They owe their suppliers that amount of money. The government, basically what I understand is the elected body has this expectation that the hospital needs to become a profitable venture, meaning they collect their debts, they get their patients to pay, and if they do, they would get a significant amount of revenue. Yes, that's important, but in the interim to not having those systems in place, I think the government needs to fork over more money to the hospital. There's a whole empty floor on the hospital with 14 beds. There are no nurses to solve that area, and so the hospital is constantly filled because that area that could give some ease to the congestion have no nurses to man it. Yeah, they have left. They've been treated bad. The salary is poor. An assistant nurse makes $10 an hour. And when they pass their probation period, they get 47 cents to that $10. I think an assistant nurse should start at $15. A registered nurse with no extra special training like a midwife or a surgical nurse or a trauma nurse should start between $25 to $30.
Meanwhile, the BVI Health Services Authority, BVIHSA, has addressed the concerns raised by PENN, stating in a statement that the BVIHSA said they recognize the concerns raised and remain dedicated to delivering high-quality healthcare to the people of the Virgin Islands. It said, like many healthcare institutions, they face staffing challenges, noting that to address these, they are continuously recruiting clinicians and have actively engaged a consultancy to review their compensation packages to ensure they remain competitive. The BVIHSA said they are also exploring strategies to improve staffing, retention, enhancing working conditions, as well as career development opportunities, and actively advocating for increased funding during their Standing Finance Committee appearances, especially given the skyrocketing cost of providing healthcare. On the topic of medical supplies, the BVIHSA said they acknowledge that funding limitations, procurement complexities, as well as global supply chain disruptions have occasionally led to shortages, and notwithstanding the mentioned procurement complexities, the authority strives, they say, to minimize supply disruptions. However, some delay and external circumstances are beyond their control. According to the BVIHSA, it's managing their resources. They have temporarily adjusted hospital space utilization to optimize the deployment of their staff while we pursue long-term staffing solutions. The BVIHSA said further that regarding their pharmacy unit, they confirmed that their formulary for asthma medications remains fully stocked, as well as reports of a stock shortage appear to be related to the timing of their stocking schedule or delayed notification of low supply, adding that in response to these claims, they have launched an internal review to better understand the situation and ensure that their procedures continue to meet demand. Premier of the Virgin Islands, Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley, and U.S. Virgin Islands Governor Albert Bryan Jr. have agreed, they say, to take a deeper look at the numbers in terms of proposed increases in the charter yacht industry. This follows intense tariff negotiations last Friday. The U.S. Virgin Islands Governor led a delegation to the BVI for the discussions. Premier Wheatley's team included the Communications and Works Minister, the Honorable Kai Reimer, and senior public officers. In the words of the two leaders, they have decided to crunch the numbers and get back to each other on what it is realistic for both territories. Premier Wheatley stated that every friendship has disagreements, but the test of true friendship is what happens when they have those disagreements and they have dialogue.
Of course, a lot has been said in the media back and forth, but I always had faith and trust that when we come together, we'll have a nice joke and we'll laugh together. And then we'll have intense discussions. Governor Bryan certainly represented the interests of the U.S. Virgin Islands robustly. And of course, I did the same on our side. But the important thing is that we were able to discuss common ground, areas of mutual cooperation. And while we were not able to reach any firm conclusions today, we made a commitment to go back and to be able to crunch the numbers to ensure that we maintain equity. And we made a commitment to equity in the relationship. So of course, we'll go back, we'll crunch the numbers, we'll reflect the true costs of being able to do the business for BVI-based voters and make sure that, of course, USVI-based voters, that there's something that is fair in comparison to what BVI voters pay. And of course, I made a commitment not to go back to the House of Assembly and pass this legislation until we came together once more to ensure that we're a lot closer together than we were previously. So I would say it's been a definite success. And again, I want to thank Governor Bryan and his entire team for being very reasonable, being very engaged, and being committed to the Greater Virgin Islands Partnership.
Premier Wheatley also made it clear that the BVI would like to pass its legislation for the increase in fees by June of this year.
Which means we have a work to do right away, because of course we don't want to keep our partners in the USVI waiting. We also have to speak to our own local boating industry. So we're going to be expeditious, and we're going to do that right away. But what I'm encouraged by is the conversations we had about how the Greater Virgin Islands can get more of the pie that's out there, because of course we have tourism that exists internationally, and we want to increase the market share for the Greater Virgin Islands, and how we can work together and do that, because of course collectively we have a great product. We have great people on both sides, and we are very anxious to see what ways we can work together so that we can bring greater prosperity to both sides.
Governor Bryan, on the other hand, stated that the professionalism in which they were able to carry out the discussions despite their differences. The U.S. Virgin Islands governor echoed the sentiment of Premier Wheatley on wanting to see both territories get a bigger share of the pie in that particular industry.
And the reality I want to say is a lot of people come to these islands, U.S. and British, and make money and go back to where they're going from, but they have to pay their fair share to the people that live on these islands, to the people that are going to have to pass down our environment to our young people, our family. They have to pay their fair share too. And so I understand why we're having this discussion is execution, parity, and equity, and I think we're going to be good.
Up next, viewers, we have much more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman by yours truly, Ron Grant, presents Season 7. Introducing Travi Rose, Creative Director. Alex Lake, Businessman. Sean Black, Cinematographer. Dakari Wheatley Adams, Content Creator. Donandre Millwood, Educator and Musician. Hashim Dream, Entertainer. James Todman Sr., Contractor. Dr. Albert Tompkins, Psychotherapist. Walter Barrett, Author. Rakim Todman, Producer and Engineer. Kamal Letson, Photographer. Roosevelt Smith III, Sales Manager and Hospitality Professional. Leland Abraham, IT Technician and Cybersecurity Analyst. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 7, every Wednesday at 8 p.m., exclusively on 284 Media. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redefine yourself through the stories of real-life heroes. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 7, Raising a Generation of Greatness. Voted Top 35 Gentleman Podcast Worldwide by FeedSpot and BI Icon Award winner.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Why? This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you, know?
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What's your name is?
She? I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know, I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked, I tell you.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. The Ministry of Education is no longer facing a mass exodus of teachers from the profession. That is according to Education Minister, the Honorable Sharibi de Castro. We're concerned that teachers were leaving the job to go greener pastures, and the top of the list was better compensation packages elsewhere. However, in her first press conference, Minister de Castro said this is no longer the case as they have put measures in place to remedy the situation.
So we have had instances more so recently of retirement, right? So persons who have reached their 25 years or beyond, in some instances recently persons who have reached their 43rd year and have retired from excellence in terms of service in education. So we've more seen persons transition to retirement. We've had persons who have retired and even come back to the system and assisted us, whether on a temporary basis or on a more long-term basis. We have not had as many instances of resignations, few and far in between, and in turn we've been able to retain. And I think, like I said, it's mainly because of the increased salary, where persons have seen that increased salary. And I also want to put a plug here to say we haven't gotten it completely right in terms of the compensation review. There are still some critical areas in education, especially on the leadership side, whether it's principals, education officers, and the more technical areas that do require some very specific attention in terms of compensation because of specialist skills that are required. And so I have been in contact with the Deputy Governor's office, really seeking to really reevaluate some of those areas in the current reevaluation process that is taking place, so that the areas that were not duly and properly compensated in the first round will be in the second round. So of course, as we've explained, we've actually seen more persons coming in to the education system from other sectors, whether it's the banking sector, the business sector. We've seen an influx of persons come in, and especially on the secondary level where they may just have the content training, they're engaging in our teacher certificate program at the college, which just restarted a new cohort of about 35 teachers just restarted on the college level in both leadership and teaching to be able to become qualified teachers. So we're seeing more persons coming in and being interested in teaching, and we're really excited about that new phenomenon.
Virgin Islands Health and Social Development Minister, the Honorable Vincent Wheatley, marked International Women's Day Friday with a statement highlighting women's leadership gains while calling for accelerated progress towards gender equality. Wheatley's statement aligned with the UN Women's theme for all women and girls, rights, equality, empowerment, emphasized both achievements and ongoing challenges in the British overseas territories.
For 116 years, this day has served as a testament to the progress made and the challenges that remain in the fight for gender equality. This year's UN's Women's theme, for all women and girls, rights, equality, empowerment, reinforces the need for inclusive and transformative action to advance women's rights worldwide. Over the past 3 decades, governments, including here in the Virgin Islands, have strengthened legal protections for women and girls, making significant strides towards a more just and equitable society. As we reflect on these advancements, we also reaffirm our collective responsibility to accelerate progress and ensure that every woman and girl can fully realize her potential. Here in the Virgin Islands, we honor the invaluable contributions of women and girls across all sectors, from entrepreneurship, education, and healthcare to public service, law enforcement, and community leadership. Women have been at the forefront of progress, innovation, and nation building, playing an instrumental role in shaping a brighter social and economic future.
Over the past 2 years, 3 women have been elected to the House of Assembly, while nearly 20 women hold key leadership roles within the public service. Wheatley also noted that positions including Attorney General, Director of Public Prosecutions, Permanent Secretaries, and Cabinet Secretary. The minister acknowledged women's leadership across multiple sectors, from entrepreneurship and education to public service and law enforcement, describing their contributions as instrumental in shaping the territory's social and economic future. While celebrating progress, Wheatley emphasized that gender equality requires continuing efforts.
Every woman and girl in the Virgin Islands and across the world deserves a fundamental right to safety, education, economic opportunity, and healthcare. These are not privileges. These are non-negotiable foundations of a just and fair society. As a territory, we must remain committed to ensuring that these rights are protected and upheld for all. We have made strides towards gender equality, but more work remains. True equality means ensuring that women and men have fair access to leadership roles, business opportunities, and resources. It means breaking down systemic barriers so that women and girls can thrive without limitations. A more equal Virgin Islands is a stronger Virgin Islands, one where the full potential of all its people is realized for the benefit of our entire society. When women are empowered, entire communities prosper. We see this daily in the Virgin Islands. Women leading businesses, shaping policy, advocating for social change, and building stronger communities. Empowering women and girls through education, mentorship, and support networks is not just an investment in individual success, but in the collective progress of our territory.
Wheatley also concluded with a call to action for all Virgin Islanders and residents to, and I quote, actively contribute to building a society where all women and girls can thrive, describing women's empowerment as an investment in the territory's collective progress. Up next, viewers, we have much more. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Just give me my service. Yeah. Just give me my service. Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, Life Unlimited.
That's just not cricket.
No sweat, you with CG. Remember my street dance battle against Seamus O'Leapsy? I went on to win the title of Miss Irish-ish, set to perform at nursing homes around the world. Then this happened. Seamus on you, Seamus. Anyway, I was covered. Let's bounce.
Comprehensive motor cover for damage and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. The British Virgin Islands Football Association has announced the appointment of David Perez as the new national head coach and Fitzgerald Carter as the Women's Development Director, signaling a new chapter in the development of the football industry within the territory. The announcement was made at a press conference on Friday, March 7th, where BVIFA President Arvenel Morton emphasized that these appointments align with the association's vision to elevate football within the BVI.
On behalf of the BVI Football Association and the BVI President, I must say we are tuning into the right direction of making sure that football is in the right place, the right time in this country. Football is a big thing worldwide, and I think with the amount of investment that goes around football around the world, I think it is time now for the BVI Football Association and with all the stakeholders in the BVI is to make sure that football make their pathway the right way for football. Our intention after being elected as the new president was to make sure that we put pride, priority, and country above everything else. And it's not about winning, it's about developing. So our intention was to get the best and suitable candidates in the BVI to lead our program.
Madrid-born David Perez brings a wealth of experience to his new role, having managed teams in Spain, China, Saudi Arabia, and most recently, Belize. Before joining the BVI national football team, Perez was head coach of the Belize national team and Videres FC, the reigning champions of the Brazilian Premier League. Perez expressed enthusiasm for his new role.
For me, it's a pleasure to be here for help to the development of football and pass the next level to the national team. I give my 200% effort for work with the players, with national team, and we have a compete in June with the FIFA World Cup qualification. Okay, thank you so much.
Hailing from Barbados, Fitzgerald Carter previously served as the interim head of coaching education at the Barbados Football Association, as well as head of the coach of Barbados under-20 men's national team. Additionally, he held significant experience in developing women's football. As Women's Development Director, Carter pledged to increase female participation and advance the women's game within the BVI.
Firstly, I want to thank the President, the Executive Council, the General Secretary, and the TD, and everyone else for giving me the opportunity to come and work on this special project to help them develop the women's football in BVI. It is indeed an honor, and I will do my utmost best to raise participation and really get the female game to another level. And I'm really excited about it, and I thank you for this opportunity. Yeah.
Meanwhile, BVIFA Technical Director Paul DeCal reaffirmed the association's commitment to rebuilding respect and quality in BVI football by ensuring that all aspects of the sport are active at the highest level.
I know that he is speaking extensively with the President. His ambition is to bring back a level of respect and quality to what we do here in football. To have all areas of football active and functioning at a very high level. And one of the key parts of that is that we are all united in the approach. We are all aligned in the same value system and what we want to see in BVI football. So we look forward to being part of that process going forward and welcoming the lead head coach and the women's director.
With these very strategic appointments, the BVIFA is taking decisive steps, they say, to strengthen the national football program, enhance youth and women's football, and position the BVI as a rising force within the regional competition. The British Virgin Islands has been selected to host the 2025 CARILEC LINEWORKERS RODEO Symposium and Field Safety Training, marking a very historic first for the territory. The BVI Electricity Corporation announced that the prestigious annual event will take place from April 25th to the 27th, bringing together top line workers from 33 CARILEC member utilities across the Caribbean. The CARILEC LINEWORKERS Rodeo is a premier event that highlights the skills, expertise, and safety practices of line workers who are essential to ensuring reliable electricity transmission to homes, businesses, and communities. The competition and training sessions focus on teamwork, safe work practices, as well as regional collaboration, key pillars of the industry. Dr. Neil Smith, the general manager of the BVIHSA, expressed pride and excitement over the BVI being chosen to host the event, stating, and I quote, "Hosting the 2025 LINEWORKERS Rodeo Symposium and Field Safety Training is not only a historic moment for the BVI, but also a testament to our commitment to excellence within the energy sector. Safety remains a top priority for the BVIHSA, and this event will serve," he says, "as an invaluable opportunity for line workers to enhance their skills, engage in hands-on training, as well as share best practices within their regional peers." Melanie James, Occupational Health and Safety Manager at BVIHSA, emphasized the importance of safety and continuous learning within the industry. The BVIHSA team will once again compete in the LINEWORKERS Rodeo, where they will have an opportunity to win the event for a third consecutive year. James encouraged residents to show their support and rally behind the local team. As the BVI prepares to host this landmark event, anticipation is building for what promises to be an exciting showcase of skill, dedication, and teamwork among the region's very best line workers. Viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at tweet4media.com, as well as to like us on our Facebook channel for daily updates, Facebook, of course, and Twitter, formerly X. I'm Ron Grant. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Goodbye and happy Monday.